वसुंधरा ओसवाल 26 वर्षीय बिजनेसवुमन, ओसवाल ग्रुप ग्लोबल के मालिक पंकज ओसवाल की बेटी, जिन्होंने बहुत कम उम्र में बड़ी उपलब्धि हासिल की। इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स की ग्लोबल यूथ आइकन अवार्ड और इंस्पायरिंग वुमेन ऑफ द ईयर से इनको नवाजा गया। लेकिन इनको लोगों ने तब जाना जब इनकी कहानी में एक सनसनीखेज और एक डरावना ट्विस्ट आया, और वो ट्विस्ट था अफ्रीका के देश युगांडा में इनका अरेस्ट होना, एक ऐसी इंसान की किडनैपिंग और मर्डर के चार्जेस पे जो बाद में जिंदा और सही सलामत पाया गया। क्या है पूरी कहानी वसुंधरा ओसवाल की, जानते हैं खुद उनसे, जो हमारे साथ अभी स्विट्जरलैंड से जुड़ रही हैं। वसुंधरा, आपका स्वागत है एबीपी न्यूज पर। और मैं शुरुआत आपसे करना चाहूंगी ये पूछकर कि फाइनली कंप्लीट डिसमिसल वसुंधरा ऑफ ऑल द चार्जेस दैट यू वर फेसिंग ऑफ मर्डर एंड किडनैपिंग। यू आर अ फ्री वुमन नाउ, हाउ डज इट फील?
It feels amazing. मुझे बहुत आनंद हुआ है. I think it's been, it was a very stressful time. So when you get involved in any kind of criminal cases, there's a lot of stress involved with all the family members that are having to push you out. And it really taught me a lot, even still. But now that I'm free, it's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder.
Yeah, I can quite imagine that. I don't know whether you've watched that series Jailed Abroad. आपने देखी है? बड़ी फेमस सीरीज है Jailed Abroad. आप अगर देखी है आपने, यू हैव नॉट सीन इट, यू मस्ट वॉच इट। वो बिल्कुल आपकी कहानी है, बिल्कुल आपकी कहानी बयां करती हैं। और अब जब देखिए, अब ये पूरी आपकी ऑर्डील अब खत्म हो चुकी है, ये पूरी कहानी जो आपके साथ हुई युगांडा में वो खत्म हो चुकी है, तो हम थोड़े लाइटर वेन के में इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं वसुंधरा। मगर ये एक बहुत ही गंभीर घटना हुई थी आपके साथ, इसकी समझ हम सबको है। वो विजुअल्स, वो वीडियो, वो फोटोज हम सब ने देखा है। आपको जेल में रखा गया था, आपको पता भी नहीं था कि क्यों आपको लेकर जा रही है वहां की पुलिस। लेकिन हमारे दर्शकों के लिए जो पहली बार आपसे रूबरू हो रहे हैं वसुंधरा, एक बार अपने मुंह से बताइए आपके साथ क्या हुआ था युगांडा में।
The story is, it's been repeated so much, but basically it was a extortion scheme and a conspiracy that was done. जो हुआ था मेरा फैमिली के ऊपर था, और ये चार्जेस पहले तो ये लोग ढूंढ रहे थे कि मेरे बाप पर लगाए। मेरा बाप मिला नहीं, मैं ही थी साइट पर, so सब कुछ मेरे नाम पर चले गया उसके बाद। And then I was caught as a hostage basically for my father and mother to come back. But अगर वो भी आ जाएंगे वापस, then they would have also been arrested and detained. So there was no point.
मगर हुआ क्या था वसुंधरा, हुआ क्या था? क्योंकि कई लोग हैं, आपने कुछ इंटरव्यूज दिए हैं पता है हमें, लेकिन कई लोग हैं जो पहली बार आपको यहाँ सुनेंगे। आपके साथ क्या हुआ वहाँ? क्योंकि आप जब कहानी बयां करती हैं, आप कहती हैं कि एक सुबह, बहुत सुबह थी जब युगांडा की पुलिस नॉक करते हुए आई आपके घर पे, तो वो कहानी अगर आप शॉर्ट में हमें बता सकें तो।
So in short, I was sleeping peacefully. I had just come back from London. मैं लंदन से आई थी, and one morning I spent one night in the site, and then basically the next morning at about 5 a.m. These guys came knocking at the gate, and I got very scared. I called back home. My father told me to go stay inside the house. But as soon as I saw them approaching towards our admin block, क्योंकि हमारा plant में there's an admin block, and then there's the main plant area. तो admin block has a separate gate लगा हुआ है admin block के लिए. So I saw them walking towards the admin block, and then I went out of my house and I was like, well, what are you doing here? And they were like, well, we're here looking for a missing man, and we're here because we've received some sort of notice from Switzerland. And I was like, okay, can you please, if you have a warrant to raid the factory, then can you please show me that warrant? And वो लोग नहीं दिखाए. They just responded back with, you are in Uganda, हम Ugandan police है, हम कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. So after that, मैंने मेरा वकील को कॉल करी, and then the lawyer came. And then we basically, it took about 4 or 5 hours for the whole raid to complete, in which they didn't find anything. But even after they didn't find anything, they basically told me that I had to come back with them for a meeting with their Interpol director. मैंने बोला अभी क्यों अभी आप लोगों ने 5 घंटा लगाया है प्लांट में, तो why do you guys have to take me right now? I can come tomorrow, I can come day after, I can come any other time. It doesn't have to be right now. पर वो लोग माने नहीं. So then they got a bit aggressive. One of the police officers, a male police officer, उसने बोला that either you come with me nicely or we will have to do this the hard way. I was like, what is the hard way? And then he all of a sudden he picked me up and threw me inside the van, and then they just sped off. Throughout the time, even though मैंने उनका नाम पूछा कि आप लोग कौन हो, किधर से हो, वो लोग बताए नहीं कुछ भी. They were just refusing to give me any sort of details where I could find them later on. So they would respond with, we don't have to tell you, you don't have to know. और फिर जब मैं इंटरपोल आ गई तो फिर these guys said that I have to write a statement. If I don't write a statement, I won't be released. So I wrote the statement, but I was still not released. They detained me. They said that, oh, now I'm a suspect. पर मुझे पता नहीं मेरा charge क्या है. So they just put me in some sort of cell in CPS, the Central Police Station in Kampala. And then they left me there for 4 days, which is against the constitutional rights of Uganda as well. And after that, they transferred me to prison because we got an unconditional release order from the court. So these guys were left with no option but to charge me with kidnap with arrest to murder, unless they wanted to be in contempt, which they were already. So then I got put into prison for 2 weeks for a man that was alive and had, stolen jewelry and all the way in Tanzania, running from the situation, obviously to frame us in the end.
तो ये सारी चीज़ें जब आपके साथ हुई, पहले तो मैं थोड़ी क्यूरियस हूँ, मैं जानना चाहती हूँ कि क्या सच में इंटरपोल के ऑफिस आपको ले गया? युगांडन पुलिस जब आपको आपके घर से ले गई और जिससे भी आपकी मीटिंग करवाई गई थी, ऐसे ये थोड़ा सा अटपटा लगता है सुनने में वसुंधरा कि सीधे पुलिस आपको डिटेन करके इंटरपोल के ऑफिस ले गई. तो क्या वो सच में इंटरपोल की ऑफिस थी? आपको किसी और से मिलवाया गया ये बोल के कि इंटरपोल के ऑफिसर्स हैं?
नहीं, वो मुझे पता नहीं कि वो लोग इंटरपोल ऑफिसर्स थे या नहीं. मुझे बस ये पता है कि वो ऑफिस इंटरपोल का था क्योंकि बड़ा बोर्ड लिखा था कि ये इंटरपोल हेडक्वार्टर्स है युगांडा का. तो आई अंडरस्टूड from there that it was the Interpol head office, that I was being taken into. और जब ये लोग मुझे बैठाया गया, obviously I called whichever lawyer I had. We didn't have any criminal lawyers. So whatever civil lawyers we had, we called them and they all came inside.
तो अब आप मुझे ये बताइए कि युगांडा की पुलिस एक टिप ऑफ पे या एक कंप्लेंट पर आती है, आपको डिटेन करके ले जाती है और फिर आपको प्रिजन में रखा जाता है. अंत में वो आदमी जिस जो मिसिंग था, जिसके लिए उन्होंने कहा कि उसे ढूंढने के लिए आपके प्लांट पे आए थे, वो सही सलामत जिंदा मिलता है बाद में. तो ये आपको क्या लगता है कि उस वक्त क्या हो रहा होगा? युगांडा की पुलिस एक टिप ऑफ पर, एक बेसिक कंप्लेंट पर आपको आकर उठा के ले जाती है. क्या बस कहानी इतनी है या कहानी उससे ज्यादा भी है?
कहानी थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा है इसमें क्योंकि there were many business families also involved inside of this. There were other businessmen that had political connections and that were using the police in Uganda to do their dirty business for them.
Okay.
So, they got involved because they just didn't like the fact that, a factory that was bigger than theirs was coming up inside the country, and that also by someone that's so young and, female. So. There was a lot of other.
You are saying that this was an outcome of a business rivalry. Is that what you're saying?
Somewhat, because otherwise, how do 20 police officers just show up at your factory site one morning?
And
that doesn't.
If this is what Vasundhara you are thinking and your family is thinking, I'm sure you must have squared down as to who these business families are. Who are these people?
Yes, we did. There's a lot of rumors. You never know what's right and what's really. But definitely one of them that came to visit me during my detention even offered to hold the shares of PRO that I had. He asked me to give the shares to him because he thought that someone very big was after me which I declined.
Okay.
So I do feel that there was a lot of other ulterior motives
Okay.
doing this, and it wasn't just as straightforward as, you know, as a normal criminal case would have been.
Would you like to tell us who that person was?
You know, I don't want to throw names at
Okay.
anyone.
Huh.
So when I'm very sure about the person, then I will throw the name. But right now, I'm not too sure.
Okay.
So I'll have to. But the people that visited me during the detention center
You
were,
feel that they were also involved?
yeah. So no, some of them. So
Okay.
you know, there was an array of people. There were people from Tirupati Cement. There were people from Victoria Sugars. There were people from Ruparelia Group. So Ruparelia came to see me as well himself. There were people from the Indian community over there. I think there was a lot of people just visiting me and asking me how they could help, you know, at the time.
Okay. So, Vasundhara, getting jailed abroad is quite a nightmare. What I want to understand that even though you are not an Indian citizen, ethnically you are an Indian, was there any intervention from the Indian authorities during this time of your detention and arrest?
You know, I feel like the Indian embassy in Kampala could have done a bit better.
Okay.
India really took up for me during the time. I feel that it
But if
just
you're
got
not a citizen, really you don't fall in their jurisdiction yet. Tell me, go on.
yeah, but even, you know, the other guys that were being accused of, you know, being murdered or kidnapped were not Indian, yet they were kind of falling into the Indian jurisdiction. And I'm still an OCI, right? So I identify as an Indian myself.
Okay.
So what basically happened was that I think that they were just overtaken with the whole media and the whole kind of not knowing what was really true or what was really going on. So they didn't want to step in at the time. But as soon as the news broke out that the guy was alive, and I feel that they knew what was being told was a false narrative, then they stepped in, you know, to get it resolved.
ओके सो युगांडा में इतनी बड़ी बिजनेस है आपकी वसुंधरा, ये पूरे एपिसोड के बाद क्या आपके वहाँ जो बिजनेस इंटरेस्ट है उस पर कोई असर पड़ा?
मतलब? I didn't get that.
जो आपकी बिजनेस है वहाँ पर, was it affected in any manner whatsoever after this entire
Oh, it
episode?
was very affected. It was very affected.
Okay.
बहुत affected हुआ. Like, I remember all of my employees were also picked up one by one, you know, just picked up and detained. And then, you know, we obviously were extorted to get them out of the detention. So what effect हुआ? People got scared. People ran away. The plant wasn't functioning properly. So I had come in during a time where it was commissioning. You know, the unit was commissioning. So nothing was stable that way. And this happening during that time just made things so much more worse. And it made entry into the market so
Okay.
much more difficult. Which is what I feel that, you know, these guys wanted to do in the first place. But they didn't, obviously they didn't achieve it. But yeah, it was just to create hurdles in getting started.
ओके मैं पूछना चाहूँगी आपसे वसुंधरा, देखिए ये बड़ा मुश्किल सा दौर था आपके लिए, लेकिन क्या वो एक सीख क्या है? व्हाट इज़ दैट वन लर्निंग दैट वसुंधरा हैज़ कम आउट ऑफ आफ्टर गोइंग थ्रू such a phase in her life? That's one. And my question, subsidiary question here, वसुंधरा, ये है कि जैसे आपने अभी मेंशन किया कि उसके बाद बिजनेस को वापस खड़ा करने में मुश्किल हुई, लेकिन तब भी आप एक लेवल तक लेकर आई अपनी बिजनेस को, ये दोनों पर आप मुझे जरा जवाब दें.
So I think the biggest one is persistence. You know, bad things happen to everyone, and you know, everyone goes through different things that are challenging. But it's how you come out of them. That's what really matters, and that's what counts in the end. It doesn't matter what you go through. And the other thing is, it's definitely changed my personality in a lot of ways. I feel like I'm more alert when it comes to people and my surroundings now. Like, I wasn't very alert in the past with, you know, my surroundings and the repercussions of that could happen when you're traveling in these kind of countries. So it's made me much more alert and made me take my own safety much more seriously, at least.
Okay. So you have been credited with establishing one of the biggest ethanol plants in East of Africa. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
ओके,
That is correct.
सो अब देखिए एथेनॉल की बहुत बातें हो रही, भारत में भी बहुत बात हो रही है वसुंधरा। आपकी कहानी से थोड़ा हट रहे हैं हम। अब एथेनॉल, क्योंकि आपकी कंपनी एथेनॉल से डील कर रही है, इसे फ्यूल ऑफ द फ्यूचर की तरह देखा जा रहा है। एथेनॉल से अब गाड़ियां चलाने की कोशिश की जा रही, कई गाड़ियां चल भी रही हैं। तो मैं आपसे एज अ बिजनेस वुमन अब ये सवाल करना चाहती हूँ कि इसकी फ्यूचर आप क्या देखते हैं? कितना आपको लगता है, टू व्हाट एक्सटेंट विल इट चेंज द वे वी लिव?
So, definitely it will make a more greener and more sustainable way of living in the future. It also will increase the amount of job opportunities there are in the agricultural sector. So, for the farmers, for the people that are really working on the fields, and that whole supply chain just going up right into the manufacturing of the product, it will just create more opportunities for everyone so that everyone gets, a chance to earn and grow in their own field. This being said, ethanol is a very new policy in Uganda. It's just come up in, I think, it just came up about a month ago, and they're trying to get everyone commissioned in the upcoming, months before December. So, and we're also looking into an expansion activity inside the country. So that is also underway. But yeah, I think this is overall what it does.
So, any part of your business now gets moved towards India? Anything to do with ethanol here in India?
The Indian market was our first choice of looking into this when we did look into ethanol. But there's so many plants already
Okay.
inside it,
So, you
and
have
I
enough
feel,
and a lot of competition here in India.
yeah, there's already a lot of competition in India, and there's
Okay.
already such huge plants. And I feel like I wanted to go somewhere where this was a completely new concept,
Ah.
where this market is still yet to grow and yet to come to a fruition, and that's why we chose Africa. But this being said, the ethanol policy in Africa has copied its policy from India.
Okay.
So this is, a well-known thing in Uganda that they're looking at the Indian policy and the way that India has carried it out, and they are trying to implement what India has done in Uganda.
Okay, okay. So Vasundhara, I was reading up on you and I came across this one thing which your sister apparently started, a campaign which said "Stop the Bee." And I want to understand what was this entire campaign? क्या थी इसकी inspiration, क्या थी वजह, क्या था ये campaign पूरा?
So, my sister was harassed and was bullied in high school. So
So stop the bee is stop the bullying.
yeah, stop the bee means stop the bully and stop the bystander.
Okay.
Because bystanders also play a big role in supporting these incidents. Even if they don't say anything and they don't do anything, that is exactly what fuels the bullies into being who they are and getting away with the kind of behavior that they can get away with because no one's correcting them. So that's why she started Stop the Bee, and I, co-founded it with her to basically raise awareness on the issue and to help other people who are going through similar situations and to just educate overall, what bullying is in youth. As I think it's very widely overlooked. You have a lot of, corporate, kind of corporate workplace rules and workplace sustainability and workplace kind of harassment that is there, but you don't really hear about bullying being taken very seriously when it's high school students or when it's junior school students.
Okay. Would you like to tell us exactly what incident that was?
Though it happened like I think 7 years ago now. It happened because she was studying in a boarding school here called La Rose, and an unfortunate incident happened where she was harassed and she was racially abused because there's very few Indians in that school. So there's, we're a minority over there, though it's an international school. And basically that didn't sit well with her. So she obviously stood up and she was like, no, I'm not going to take this. You better apologize for what you did. And the teachers over there, they just didn't seem to understand what was going on. And they kind of let the bullies get away with their behavior and further fostered it. So it followed her, for the longest time. And And it took a lot for her to come out of that situation and kind of stand up from it. And now, just recently, in fact, we received a judgment from the courts in Switzerland, whereby their ruling that the behavior of some of the youth that were involved in this was incorrect, and it was against my younger sister, whose name is Riddhi, personality rights.
Okay, but then that prompts me to ask you this question, Vasundhara. But not that I myself have not seen many such instances, but you live there. You live in Switzerland. You tell me, does it still exist, this kind of racial discrimination against Indians? Does it still happen?
It does, and
Okay.
I think it's very sad. Switzerland is a great country, but I think it's underdeveloped in the sense of exposure to other
Okay.
cultures and other people, and they just don't seem to understand people that are different from them, and that's where it all starts. So there have been instances where other Indians have been racially picked up on, where it's happened in the workplace, whereby people don't understand your way of life. If you're vegetarian, they don't understand why you're vegetarian. There'll be so many questions around it. But yeah, I think it's improving, but it's yet to get there completely.
So because your food habits are different and because your skin is maybe slightly brown, that's a problem still.
Yes, it's still a problem here. It's still
Okay.
a problem.
All right.
And especially if you're
Yeah.
a business, from a business background.
Uh-huh.
So Switzerland is a very socialist community.
Huh.
I don't think they have a specific like for people that are from a business background. Like they don't like it if, they see another culture or another community that is doing better than theirs, so they don't.
Okay. So my last two questions now, Vasundhara, with you, because you come from a business family, a very well-established business family. Do you also, I mean, your business family is spread in several countries. So do you also face the same criticism, born with a silver spoon, the entire nepotism thing, does it stick onto you?
पहले बहुत होता था. I think after I went to jail, कम हो गया.
कम हो गया है क्योंकि अब सिंपैथी हो गई है वसुंधरा से.
It's not sympathy exactly, but it's like, oh, ye bhi gayi hai, she's had a fair share of struggles, so it's it's ended now, pretty much, with that.
अच्छा, अब आपको ये नहीं झेलना पड़ता है.
Yeah, I don't have to anymore. They now people I think are a lot more sympathetic and are a lot more respectful
Huh.
when I'm there. So before it was really difficult to establish, a separate personality
Huh.
and a separate, to be a separate person from your family as well.
Huh.
But I think now people see me more as an individual and more as an individual inspiration to them as well.
क्यों लगता है आपको? Just because कि आपने तकलीफ झेल ली, आपको उठाकर डिटेन कर लिया गया, अरेस्ट कर लिया गया, इसलिए लोगों को लगता है कि अब ये हमारी जैसी है.
I think people find it difficult to relate, and they're looking at the media and social media, right? And they're thinking, oh, these people have everything. They don't have to struggle for anything. They have their bread, butter, they have their room where they sleep in, they have a sure job, a sure lifestyle that they're waking up in. But they don't understand the struggles that come with maintaining those things. And the reason that they don't understand it is because it's hidden, right? It's not really so prominent outside in the media, those things. But when they see real instances of struggle that are difficult to cover up and are difficult for people to undermine, that's when they say, okay, I can relate now to you. I get it, and which is a good thing as well.
Which is a good thing. All right. So finally, Vasundhara, since you did, of course, get recognized as one of the prominent businesswomen by the Economic Times here, and you did receive other awards and accolades, I want to understand any major plans for expansion. What is next on your plate?
So we're looking at different projects currently. We're doing an expansion in Uganda currently as we speak. So we're bringing up the plant to an additional, I think, about 100 KL over there. And we're also looking at expansions in other East African countries. So in Tanzania, we have a mine that's under exploration as well as another ethanol project that is underway that my younger sister is also looking into. She's just graduated chemical engineering and is, come on board. So we're both looking into these projects as well currently.
All right, Vasundhara, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us here on ABP and wishing you all the very best with your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you.
एबीपी न्यूज आपको रखे आगे।